Hello and welcome to another episode of the Maverrik podcast. And today I'm joined by our COO.
Mr. COO, indeed.
COO.
Yes, Chief Operating Officer, and my name is Terry Heath, and it's good to be here.
So, in usual Dean style, this is totally unscripted.
Absolutely.
But Terry, what I thought we would talk about is keeping up with the competition. Not the Kardashians and not the cardigans, but keeping up with the competition.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people worry about using social media and using LinkedIn specifically for content, for outreach, all that stuff, because they're so worried about what their competition might find out about them.
Yeah.
You come across this?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's not so long back. I think just last weekend, just taking a casual look around social media. What are other people doing? People who are in the same space as you. And then you suddenly find your own stuff being quoted, repurposed, and you're like, hang on.
Yeah.
That feels a little uncomfortable all of a sudden.
We wrote a resource that we gave away to people. Mm-hmm. And then over the weekend, you forward me an email from somebody else, pretty much word for word.
It looked like we'd written it, yeah.
Yeah. And you can get really upset about it. You can get really angry about it, but we just giggle about it.
It was, yeah. Of course, there's that instant reaction of like, how dare they? What are they? That's ours. But then again, for who we are, and as Maverrik, we've always made that commitment to give so much away, just free value. Our commitment to who we are, want to help 1 million businesses. So if you're going to help 1 million businesses, there's a proportion that's going to be free, which means some of it's going to get out there in the public domain and someone else is going to go, oh, that's a good idea. Let me rip that off. And I think just looking over that the weekend, I actually made a LinkedIn post about it because I was interested to get people's feedback. How do you respond when that happens? And of course, there's two sides to it. One is that obviously, if it's ultimately damaging to your business and someone's basically ripping off your content, your ideas and everything, there's intellectual property things that are coming, but it wasn't that level. So then the other flip side is, isn't this just a big compliment now? Mm-hmm. The fact that they have taken notice of you, then they're preferring to use your content than their own content, you know? Yeah. And in some ways, it just enforces. And we've had this
with other stuff that we've done as well.
Oh, it's happened multiple times over the years, yeah.
We have it every week with our LinkedIn events.
Oh, yeah, with LinkedIn events.
So every week we do the live training. We'll get anywhere from, depends, we've got 3 events we run every week now. And we'll get anywhere from 500-600 people to, I think we had 2,000 on one this week.
Yeah.
So we're getting about 2,500 people, say, across the week. And every single week, one of the team here will get a connection request from somebody selling something that similar to us, competitors basically, who will send connection requests and say, oh, I saw you, you attended the Build Your 90-Day Pipeline. Are you looking for more automated leads from LinkedIn or something like this? Yeah. We see this all the time. But you will have people listening and watching this will have similar scenarios. And it can make you want to protect what you've got.
Yeah.
Which I think is flawed. Would you say that?
Yeah, I absolutely, I had that, going back probably about 6 months ago. I remember I linked up with a certain LinkedIn trainer. It was a great guy, I'll not name him, and sort of like that, and made this suggestion. I said, hey, you're doing a lot of stuff. Why aren't you using LinkedIn events? So, of course, 2 months later, he's now on LinkedIn going, hey, I'm having my biggest, webinar event. Got all these people. Why? Because he's going, and, part of me was, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. But, it was nice to sort of help. And the fact that, he's recognized that and we still chat and swap notes. But, it's not getting to the point where I just feel like we've just devalued ourselves or anything like that. It's, we are helping. We're helping not just people are looking for sales and marketing, but there are other LinkedIn trainers who are taking inspiration from what we're doing. And that is a huge compliment.
We've actually had some LinkedIn trainers on our programs, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
Three or four, actually.
Yeah, 3 or 4 that have come in, which is, the common thing with LinkedIn is to set yourself up as a trainer, you need to know 5% more than the person you're training.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. So when you do what we've done over the years, which is really dig in, really, how far can I take LinkedIn? What can you do? When they release something new, we're pretty quick on it to test it, break it, see what it can and cannot do, and then see how we can leverage it. And so it means that we position ourselves to be a bit further on than the crowd. And so we naturally attract the LinkedIn trainers who just say, I'm actually struggling to get new clients. And so, you know,
we've actually had that scenario. I've had the DM from a LinkedIn trainer saying, I do LinkedIn training in how to help people get clients on LinkedIn, and I'm struggling to get clients.
Yeah.
Because, you know, to be fair, the world moves on, the world changes, and LinkedIn changes. And if you're not, you know, if you're a solopreneur LinkedIn trainer, you know, we've got 45 people that we live and breathe this with clients every single waking moment.
That's what we do.
We're back to back sometimes on calls, training calls, modules, all that kind of stuff we're delivering. You do have that scenario where, because we're in the thick of it all the time, it's like you blink for a week and it's changed.
Yeah, and that's part of, I think, for us, our learning process is, because for us it is so consistent and demanding, because it is sometimes back-to-back training, that you're in it all the time. You live and breathe it. And so you end up thinking about it, sadly, when you go to bed, and can I do this? And what if we tried that? What if we do this? And of course, having the size of the team means that we're freed up in the sense that we've got people who are selling the programs and the courses that we do, giving us the freedom to then think about how can we improve what we teach and train.
So if you're small business owner, solopreneur, and you're worried about the competition, there can be this kind of, I have to protect, don't shine, don't put my light under a bushel, or whatever the saying is.
Yeah.
You can have that kind of mentality, but actually you don't develop any kind of market dominance or expertise or authority in the market if you don't just prolifically share.
Yeah, it's getting out there. And I think if you're a smaller operator and you're in a space and your competition is bigger than you, one of the advantages you've got is the flexibility. It's that ability to respond, react very, very quickly, where they may be a little bit slower. Why? Because they've got diaries that are already filled up and you've got the opportunity. So, you know, use that and leverage that to your advantage. You know, getting people almost immediately jump onto calls with them and really build those relationships can really set you apart. And at the same time, don't be scared to go and have a look. What's the competition doing? You know, we should all have a mentality of always learning. You know, I'm always forever signing up for people's LinkedIn webinars, because how do they present it? What are those phrases they use? How do you put something across in a way that someone gets it straight away, just because of the phrasing that you used?
So this is an obvious question, but competition keeps you sharp. Yeah. Without it, you become complacent. You don't really, you don't respect the work you're doing, because actually it's easy. If you took all the competition away, actually that ability to fight for business and pursue and get it is actually what makes you good at what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't just sit back. You know, let's take, for instance, our Win Your Next Client course. Now, I remember first doing that nearly 3 years ago.
Yeah.
If I look at the content 3 years ago to what's in now, it's almost it's totally different. Yeah. Because the platform changes. You've got to stay up to date. You've got to keep going. I think some of the things we find is, with a lot of people in our space, are still doing the same training that was applicable 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Algorithms changed, LinkedIn platforms changed, Facebook. They've all evolved and changed, and you've got to stay up with it and keep fresh.
Do you think then, let's say you're a small business owner, right, and you're worried about this competition thing? I had this thought, and it might be a little bit provocative. I might provoke some people and get some angry comments or messages after this one. I think, and I have a theory, that the people who are worried about the competition have a lack of confidence in themselves.
Oh, definitely. I think with some of the examples of the LinkedIn trainers that have come and we've worked with, there is a confidence issue. Because when you're a solo entrepreneur, who have you got to bounce off? Who's inspiring you? on those days when you get out of bed and think, holy crap, it's just not happening, where I've got no clients, got nothing, you end up on one of these spirals. There's nobody to stop that from happening. And so it is very easy to get yourself in that mindset. But if you're going to succeed, it's got to be that dogged determination.
You're gonna make it.
The sod it, whatever it takes, I'll do it attitude that will get you there. You can attest to that, right at starting off at the beginning, just by yourself.
I was going to say, in my life in Plymouth, actually, you're one of the people who've known me the longest.
Yeah.
You are the person who's known me the longest. Actually, Dave and Delane from when I was down here, but pretty much, you've known me longer than my wife has.
It's true.
So you've seen the point where the Maverrik world that exists now was like on a knife edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where all of the numbers were in the wrong direction. And actually there was people doing what we do that were way ahead of us.
Well, you're starting, knowing the story is the starting position of Maverrik was starting from a negative.
Yeah.
You actually had a wage bill and everything and suddenly not the clients.
Yeah.
And so starting from that point and getting to where it is now, one is very commendable, but seeing that journey and that it's that determination that some people who would look in from the outside would look and go, oh, he's just an arrogant git. It just looks innocent. Some people probably
sometimes you say that.
But, it's, when you've got that sense of determination, this is what I'm going to do, there does become almost a blinkered focus and you go for it. And you get to the point where it doesn't matter who on the left or your right of you says this or that. It doesn't matter because you're totally focused. Yeah. And that's where we've been and still are on our journey of going from you and 2 or 3 people to building up to the 12. I joined when we're 12 to 15 and here we are 45 plus, keep growing, and we've just hired 2 more this week and recruiting for more. It keeps building. Why? Well, it's building on the success and the determination that we're going to make this the best.
Yeah, and there is that, for anybody watching this and they're worried about the competition and what they share on LinkedIn, you have to have a commitment to yourself that you're going to make something happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even sometimes when you feel like this is scary, I can remember I didn't show it internally at the time because we had some very scared members of the team at the time. And I was like, I want to swear, but I'm not. But I was like, I'm actually frightened. Yeah. But I was like, there's only one way. There's only one way we're going, and we're going that way.
Yeah.
And so you have to fight. And if you're worried about competition and you're afraid that if you share something or if you put something out there, somebody might copy it or somebody might steal your idea, you just have to fight for your space.
Yeah. And I think is one of the keys as well is don't get fixated on your competition. Because if you do, it becomes a distraction. Ex-partner or whatever, we've been down that route where it is you can be watching them so much, trying to keep up with them or match them, that you forget you've got your own journey and track to take. Where actually, if you focus on that, there's a point when you look back and go, oh, they're actually behind me now. I was just focused on doing what I know to do well, and I'll keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And that's pretty much been our journey, which is to get to a point when you suddenly go, oh, we seem to be at the head of the pack these days. Oh, how did we end up here?
When we come in one morning and go, when did you get like this?
Yeah, or you go on holiday and come back and realise that the premises have doubled and there's more staff. I only went away for 1 week. It's like, what happened?
But I think you have to have a degree. You have to settle in yourself and almost be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
You have to kind of be determined to make something happen. And if you're constantly worried about protecting what you've got, you're probably going to lose what you've got.
Yeah. In almost every case, if you get into protective mode all the time, you eventually just lose it.
Yeah.
You'll turn around one day and it's gone.
Yeah. And it's really easy on LinkedIn to go, well, I'm not going to share this post because I don't want to tip off my competition, or I'm not going to share this insight, or I'm not going to do this because what if they see what I'm doing? And it's a hiding to nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really got to kind of just get out there and go, I'm going to make my space. And along the way, you will have some competition take pot shots at you as well.
Oh yeah, we've all had those comments, those people who have a dig at you. I remember the first time we put out the statement and declared we are the number one UK's social selling consultancy and training.
Yeah.
And getting, the comments of, oh, that's a bit arrogant of you to put yourself there. And, happily said to people, well, prove us wrong and I'll retract.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting.
But I can remember somebody took a pot shot at Luke and disagreed with what he was saying and disagreed what he was doing. And it was like, why are you focused so much on us and attacking us?
Yeah.
Why don't you just get on and do what you want to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
You do your thing, we'll do our thing, and the market will decide.
Absolutely.
That's how it works, isn't it?
And then I think the other thing as well is that in our sort of space with all the training we do around social selling is, of course, there are a lot of other people, but there's not really a competition for clients because the client base is huge.
Yeah.
It's so huge. It's sort of like, don't get concerned that you think that they sniped in and took one. There's another 100 million behind them.
Something
somewhere
like, I can't remember the number, but it's something like in the UK, 140,000 people join LinkedIn a month. 140,000 a month.
I can tell you it was when did I do the training? Wednesday. On Tuesday, 12,000 people joined in the UK alone.
On Tuesday.
Tuesday. It's,
So you look at that and you go, that's more than we could service. That's more, and we can service a lot of clients. I think our course, or training, the online courses, I think we put 162,000 people through them, the various different ones. It's probably more than that now with the weekly ones. So, but 12,000 people a week is more than we can service.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's enough demand in this space for everybody.
If you're a solo entrepreneur and you're doing, let's say, something similar to what we're doing, here's a quick trick for you. Just build relationships with 2 or 3 good companies. Because I can guarantee you, once you do the sort of training and they see your value, what you can bring to their business, every time a new employee joins that business, they're knocking on the door going, can you get these ones trained as well?
Yeah.
And it just becomes repeat. But we've got it time and time again. People I did training courses with 2 years ago who every 3 to 4 months getting in touch, hey, can we get some, we've got a course coming up, let's get them in. And so now it's because we built the relationships with those businesses and helped them. And a lot of that started from giving away a lot of free stuff.
Yeah. The free stuff may seem like, there is this, the theory that if you give a lot of free stuff away, you attract a lot of people who only want free stuff. And that is true.
There is an element to that.
But actually what happens is that those people who you're doing stuff for free help you build a crowd.
Oh,
and there is a value to having a lot of people who come to you for free stuff.
Yeah.
It may feel, if you're a small business, it may feel, you might get a little resentful of it because you think, I'm doing all this stuff for you and you won't even pay 50 quid for my LinkedIn course or whatever. But actually, the value of them helping you build your brand is incredible.
Yeah.
Whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's anything, coaching, whatever, this whole theory of free stuff is a bad idea, I think is totally wrong. I think give as much free stuff away and a percentage of those people will go away, do something with it, and you'll never hear from them again.
Mm-hmm.
A percentage of those people will actually come and spend time with you regularly and become like almost mini fans.
Yeah.
And they're the people who amplify your message for you.
Yeah.
And a percentage of people will come back and go, probably a smaller percentage to be fair, a smaller percentage will come back and say, I need your help, I need your expertise.
Yeah, absolutely. Time and time again, we see that. And I think what we do through our free webinars is we know we've built that crowd who are just our verbal marketers. They're just recommending us all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a problem with LinkedIn, you should jump on this webinar or drop them an email. Or,
I had a call with a lady from, I think she was in Spain today, and somebody else had told her about us. So I don't know who it was, but that's the way the free thing works. Free is great for building your brand. Yes, you'd get a bit resentful if you didn't, but if you got 100% free, but we know full well sometimes people have to experience multiple free things to actually see to get to a point where they go, do you know what? I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna sign up for that.
Absolutely. Well, we've always said is once people get a taste of who Maverrik is, our style, our delivery, we're pretty straightforward. We want to give people stuff that they can pick up, use straight away, and it makes a difference. We're not going to give them a load of theory and statistics that just mean nothing, just to fill up some time. And there's a crowd that always like that. And when they like it, they'll come back looking for more. And as the more that they come back, the more that they start to see our authority. And then that brings the credibility, then the respect, to the point when they go, okay, I've seen enough, let's pick up the phone, we need to talk to these guys. Yeah. Let's start a discussion of what would that look like inside of our business.
And I think the lesson here for you, if you're nervous about the competition, is that in our world, we are not everybody's cup of tea.
No, definitely not.
There are some people who just won't get us, and they want something else. And so you being you and doing it your way is actually not just about whether it's right or wrong. It's actually about style and expression, because you could offer the exact same service. Probably a controversial thing to say. This might be my Gerald Ratner moment. You could offer exactly the same service. So let's say you've got competitor and you could offer exactly the same thing, but the style, the presentation, the way you do it could be the differentiator that they go, I like you better than you.
Yeah.
That's simple, right?
People have different ways of learning, and they relate to different characters. It's what we see in our team, which is having more voices and more faces available on the screen and doing training, is because people respond differently to different people, different styles.
And I've done something you haven't. I've managed to get Roper and Abby on episodes of the podcast so far.
Well done.
So I think the message from today is, and Terry, you can add to this in a minute, don't be afraid of your competition. Don't hide your light under a bushel. Get your personality out there, because that could be the difference maker between you and your competition.
Absolutely. And the only thing I would add to that is just stay focused on what you want to achieve and don't allow the external stuff to distract you. Just keep going for it.
Yeah. Cool. Terry, thank you. Koo, thank you.
It's nice to be here.
Thanks for joining us, and make sure you subscribe to other episodes of the podcast wherever you watch, so that you can hear more from us and help you grow your business and get more clients.